from Woodland Park. For those of you that don't know where it is, it's kind of up in the mountains here in Colorado. We love it. It's a great little place. He is, I don't know, you're what, 20 miles from Colorado Springs?
Approximately, yeah, give or
Miles
take.
from Denver, something like that. So he is here to do a member story with y'all to tell us kind of who he is and what he does. So Mr. Nate Wilson, what is it you do for a living?
I am a personal trainer and I'm a health coach for a corporate wellness company too, and soon to be author this year.
I love it. So what kind of book are you writing?
Right now, I'm just writing a book about my life, simply about my life. It's about recovery from drug addiction, and it's got a lot of crazy stories in it. And I believe I can help people by showing them that there is hope and just giving my perspective on addiction.
Yeah. So when you tell us you're a coach and a wellness coach, like that's a kind of a broad category. Can you give us some idea of where you fit into that industry?
Yeah. So I kind of use my personal training background in the wellness industry for my corporate wellness. But basically, what we do, we go into corporations, very big companies, and we do health screenings on their employees. So we check their cholesterol levels, triglycerides, um, blood glucose, blood pressure, BMI and weight, waist circumference, and if they pop up with risk factors, if their levels are showing abnormal, like they have too much cholesterol or high blood pressure, then they do coaching with us to get healthier. And I am included in both the screening process and the health coaching process to get them healthier and get them better numbers the next time they screen with us, which is about once a year.
Now, are you doing this with businesses in Woodland Park?
No, I do work from home sometimes because I do over lots of over the phone coaching.
Yeah.
But this is in Colorado Springs, and then they send me around the country too. I've been to California to do health screenings. I've been to New York. Um, I've been all around doing screenings for them. So lots in Denver too.
So give me an idea how somebody goes from a world where you have all of these stories that you're putting in your book, and we don't have to tell those stories today, but you had stories
Yeah.
to flying around the country to doing health screenings for people. Like how, you could have done anything with your life.
hmm
Why this?
Um, I fell into it, and sometimes I'm kind of shocked. Like when I was in California, they put me up in a very nice resort um, that had a big pool, and I could see the pool from my room. And I remember looking at how nice the resort was, and I was thinking, 10 years ago, there's no way I ever would have dreamed this is possible.
Yeah.
Um, so, I mean, I got certified as a personal trainer. I went through a lot of other jobs too. I was a cook. I worked in a sheet metal shop. I did heating and air conditioning. The cooking job I kind of liked, but I pretty much hated every other job. And, you know, I didn't like having a boss, and I just didn't, it wasn't my thing. It wasn't my thing. I wasn't good at it. I was horrible at HVAC. I was horrible at measuring things and all the math that's included. So I thought to myself, I was like, what am I good at? And I was like, well, I'm good at going to the gym, and that's really about it. So I got certified as a personal trainer, and started doing some stuff on my own. I was working for a failing gym at first, and I was put in charge as a manager just right out of school. I really didn't have a whole lot of I didn't know what I was doing really. But it did spark an entrepreneur type of mentality
Mm-hmm.
um, because I was put in that manager position, and the guy basically told me, hey, we got to get people coming in the door. I'm pretty much on my last leg. I don't have any ideas. You give me your best shot. And, I wasn't successful. It was really on its last leg. It was really hard to get people through the door, but it just got me in that mentality um, of working for myself and coming up with, creative ideas to market and network. So once the gym went under, I started working for myself. I got in touch with a friend that I knew from childhood, actually. She used to babysit me when I was a kid, and she was the one that worked for this corporate wellness company. And
Yeah.
I networked with her, and I got hooked up with the corporate wellness, and it was a part-time position. So I was still able to do my business and work on my personal training business as well. So that was very nice too.
There's a couple of things about that story I really like. One is you admitted that you weren't good and didn't like your day jobs.
Mhm.
And then you went and decided, what am I good at? I think there are people that get into business and still question what they are good at. But you decided that before you opened your doors, you said, I am good at this. I can do this for other people. Do you have any idea what that was inside of you that gave you the idea that you could help other people?
Yeah. Basically reflecting on my story and, like you said, we won't get into all those stories, but just seeing where I came from. And, I used to be one of the most unhealthiest people within, a 10-mile radius. And I went from that to being one of the healthiest people. And I know that if I can do it, then I can get other people to do it. And I know what it takes to spark truly a lifestyle change. I mean, we're talking just a totally different mentality, a 180, being a totally toxic, negative person and turning into this positive person who thinks anything is possible, whether it be getting in shape, building a business, or anything like that. So I saw that I was good at that. I knew I had knowledge that other people might not have
Mhm.
about that because of where I came from. And so I just try to implement that.
So, one of the things that people struggle with, I would think, especially in your field, because you are not the only personal trainer out there. There's a few others that take that title. How are you different than the 80,000 other personal trainers that might be in Colorado Springs or Woodland Park?
Again, I think that's a part of my story. I'm not your average. I don't have your average background, coming from drug addiction, very heavy drug addiction too. Definitely was not a recreational user. I have felonies. I'm just not your typical business owner, typical person for that matter. I don't have the typical background. And so, like I said, I can spark that change in people. If I can do it, anyone can do it. I think that really sets me apart from the rest.
Well, and I fully agree with you. I believe people forget that it's their personal story. It's what they are passionate about that sets them apart. And when you begin to tell people that personal story, you begin to open up the doors and allow people to connect with you in ways they might not connect with another fitness instructor. So you can have people that have gone through tough times, whatever they might be, and my guess is they're going to connect better with you than somebody that hasn't been through all of those tough times. Is that your experience with some of your clients?
Yeah, absolutely. And touch on what you said right there at first, just having that really strong connection to what I'm selling, which is basically a healthy lifestyle. I'm just connected so strongly to that. My life literally depends on that every day. I depend on fitness so I don't relapse. It's therapy for me. And so if I can convey that to someone else, then I'd most definitely see success, especially with my coaching clients. I get a lot of time on the phone with them, and
Mm-hmm.
that's what I center in on is making that lifestyle change and getting some type of emotional connection to changing and becoming healthier, whether it be eating healthier or going to the gym more. Uh, getting some type of emotional connection, getting my client to do that.
I love that. So we've talked about your story a little bit. We've talked about how you're different than the other personal and maybe corporate trainers out there. I want to know a little bit more about what Nate does. Yes, you go in and take assessments and do that, but you do more than that. So give us some idea of where your specialties lie and what you truly love to do in the fitness industry.
Well, for instance, if I get a new coaching client over the phone, going into detail, what I do with them is I kind of break the ice with them. I just ask them who they are, what they're doing, what they eat over the course of a day, just kind of slowly open up who they are. But after a couple of sessions, I try to get to what we call the golden nugget. which is, like I was talking about earlier, the emotional connection to why they would want to make a change.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, being if you're an entrepreneur, I'm sure you've heard of finding your why.
Mm-hmm.
Really try to do that with my clients. If I can get them to find their why, then I can guide them to where they need to go through there.
I think that's great. One of the things I want to know is where are you taking your business in 2018? What, this is January, the month that you might not know, the month we are focusing in on vision and vision for our companies. What does your vision look like for maybe 2018 or the next couple of years?
Glad you asked. I've been kind of ambivalent about that actually. Recently over the summer, I lost my father. And when that happened, I did kind of let my business go on the back burner for a little bit. I kept a couple of personal training clients, and that's really about it. For the most part, I concentrated on the corporate wellness.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't apply myself. I didn't drive myself to go find new clients. So I just wanted them handed to me basically, which was nice to have that corporate wellness position. But for 2018, I've done a lot of thinking about that. And, I would like to grow the personal training a little bit more. And I'm also focused on trying to open an addiction treatment center. And that's kind of where I'm gearing towards now. That's kind of where I'm putting my energy at. When I get that open, I'll be in charge of the fitness stuff, most definitely, and probably a lot of administrative stuff. But really just doing something a little bigger. And that treatment center is really what I'd like to do.
I love it. One of the things that young entrepreneurs, and I can still consider you young, you've not been doing this business for 20 years. You have been doing this business for a few. It's not like you got in there like yesterday. You have been doing this business for a little bit, but you're thinking more than I have a client, I'm spending an hour with the client, and where's my next client coming to fill that hour? You are thinking on a larger scale than that, but you're also thinking a little bit outside the normal health fitness industry.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think that's going to help me find success. That's going to be a hole that needs to be filled. Using health and fitness for addiction. There's a couple places out there, a couple places for adults mainly, but I'd like to work with youth. Mm-hmm. And I think again that's going to set me apart from the rest and give me an open shot to find success.
Yeah.
For myself, not only
go ahead.
For myself, but for a lot of others.
Absolutely. One of the things since you brought it up, I would love to talk about a little bit is this idea that you let your business go when you lost your dad, but it was more than that. You had a tough year last year. But I want to commend you for that, because what you did is you looked at your own resiliency levels and you said, you know what, if I'm going to coach well, I need to be able to give when I coach. And you're like, I'm empty. Like, I'm struggling. I don't have the ability to give. So I give you kudos for backing off your business and doing what you needed to do to A, put family first, and B, take care of yourself. I don't see that a lot in young businesses, especially when they're still in what I call that building stage. How hard was it for you to let go some of those clients that took you a long time to get?
It was painful. It sucks watching you spend all this time being an entrepreneur, watching all these videos, all these motivational videos, building yourself up to here. And then it takes one little thing like your dad going to the hospital, or I forgot to mention this, but my girlfriend's father died about a week after my father went into the hospital. So I had to be there for her too and her family. The hits just kept coming, but I was up here and it took something as simple as my dad going to the hospital just to totally wipe out my emotional stability, totally shook my foundation.
Yeah.
So it was painful because I still had the desire, I wanted to build something great. I want to get this treatment center. I want to have lots of clients. I want to do this book. The desire was there, but I didn't have the emotional drive. I didn't have the time. I was at the hospital every day, or I was spending time with my girlfriend. So it was painful to do, but I took time to heal,
Yep.
And now I'm trying to get back on the horse and just spark that fire again.
Do you find it easier getting back on the horse than getting on the horse the first time?
Yes, absolutely. The experience kind of helps with that.
Okay.
And, when you're driven like that, you put a lot of irons in the fire, so to speak. Um, and so the things that I had done maybe, 6 months prior that I wasn't seeing results from ended up panning out kind of after my father passed. And so the things I had set forth in motion a couple months prior were finally starting to come together, which was nice. And I kind of learned that from Grant Cardone, the 10X massive action type of mentality. I was all about that, and I was doing as much stuff as I could. I probably overloaded myself a little bit, but that paid off months down the road. So.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Business and then I'm going to speak a little fitness speak, but it's a long-term game.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to have those, if it's a football game, you're going to have those quarters that suck.
Mm-hmm.
But that doesn't mean game's over for you. It just means you get that playbook back out, you brush it off, and you get back on the horse, just like you would in a football game. If that first quarter, that second quarter is terrible, you go in the half, you regroup, and you come back out almost like with a different energy level, a different conviction. And you are absolutely doing that with your business. I want to be sure who's ever watching this, that what you're seeing is a really subdued Nate today. I know Nate as this kind, sweet, gentle guy, but there's a side of you that's very funny. And we haven't seen a lot of smiles from Nate yet. He might be a little nervous behind the camera. I have no idea. But I want to be sure that people understand that you have this caring personality.
Uh-huh.
And that's a part of what makes you unique with your business.
Wow, thank you.
So give folks an idea, a little bit of an idea of who you are outside of Nate, the fitness instructor.
Yeah, I'm a big family man. I love my family. I love my girlfriend. I love our kids. Our kids are our life. Their well-being comes first before anything. I love to give. I love to. I take pride in the fact that I feel like I care more than a lot of people. I care about others' emotional stability, and I just like to give a lot. I was doing a lot of volunteer work. That's something else I need to get back on. And I'm just real motivated. I'm motivated to better myself and try to motivate others and inspire. I love to inspire others. I'd say that's what I love to do the most.
And when you get him in the gym, he's right there with you, pushing you and moving forward. And I would think you're doing that on the phone too. I've not had that experience with you either in the gym or on the phone, but I've seen videos of you coaching your clients in the gym and how present you are with them and what you say to them as they are, trying to move their lives forward. I commend you in being the professional that the industry needs.
Thank you.
So I want to get back to what can this network do to support you? What can we do to lift Nate up and move Nate forward?
Inspiration and motivation are always good. I love encouragement. Any type of networking is very appreciated, and I will do my best to return that favor too. I love networking. I love connecting people. I love meeting new people. I love giving though. If someone needs a favor, I would most definitely do whatever I can to help them out, and hope that we could do the same.
I love that. And then what do you think you could give to this networking group?
Just that, networking. Also, like I said, I love to inspire others too. I love to give out pointers where needed. A lot of times I'm better at coaching than I am implementing myself. So if people need advice, then I'm normally pretty good for that too.
Yeah. Well, one of the things that I'm hoping we will see more of in the group is that people are going to give regular tips, whether it's a daily tip or a weekly tip. They go in and say, here's a tip to move you or your business forward. It's a way for you to showcase your abilities within the group, but it's also a way for you to connect with the group. We are not about advising people what to do in this group, and we are not about selling. We're not about sales pitches. with that said, I want people to know where they can find Nate, exactly what Nate does. So if we have somebody that we can connect you to that needs corporate wellness, or maybe we need you to come kick our rear ends, where do we go for that, Nate?
Well, I have a Facebook page. You can look me up. Nate Wilson is what I'm under. And then if you friend me, I will also connect you to my page, which is known as Elite Fitness. I believe on the Facebook page it says Elite Fitness Nate Wilson, Colorado Springs.
Okay.
So there's a landing page for that too. As far as anyone who needs help with addiction or anything, I do have a landing page for that too. I write a lot of articles. Haven't written as many lately, but I do have articles there. And if anyone, would like to message me or connect me to someone who does need help, either fitness-wise or addiction-wise, or anyone connected to a corporation who's interested in a wellness program, then I have those two landing pages and the Facebook page as well.
I love that. So I know there are big things in your future. I see you chasing them every day. Please continue to inform us what we can do to support you. Network with the people in this group, because there are some folks that you've not been introduced to that are in this group that are in the health and wellness field, and we will continue to bring more and more of those folks in for you and for everybody else.
Great.
So I truly appreciate the time with you. I have a special place in my heart for you, and I'm grateful that you are in this group. And I can't wait to see you again, and best of luck to you in 2018.
Thank you so much, Virginia. I appreciate your time.
You're welcome.
Have a good day.